here. And we're going to come from the other side, do the same thing. A little bit of glue in there starting to stick for this guy. Excellent. Everything's still nice and flat. Good and square. Go ahead and glue it. I'm even going to go back to the regular CA, and where the two carbons cross in the middle, I'm going to go ahead and join them together with just a drop of the regular CA. Careful not to drip any out of the foam. Oh, I forgot to glue this one. Inject a little glue in there. Okay, we got them all glued. Now we take our weights off. I'll give you a good idea of where I poke those through. You see a little white spot. And then the cabane strut here. Now we want to take and flip it upside down. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay the top wing down, make sure the rudder's not touching. Again, my little flat building table's elevated up above the main work table, so my rudder doesn't hit. I'm doing that for video reasons. You might just want to hang the rudder over the end of the table. That works fine. Normally that's how I do it. Okay. This way it keeps it all in the video. No wires underneath the wing. Okay, we'll go ahead and weight it down. And do the exact same process with the other four. Flip it over. And then we'll put that little bit of glue here in the bottom wing where the carbon comes in and connects. I'm going to put a little bit there on all those joints there. And back carbon. Alright, the carbon wires are done. Carbon wing wires. Now we're going to set it upside down again, and we're going to get this tail section pointed toward us, and we're going to do the tail stiffeners. And these are the 6-inch 040 carbons. And again, we need to sharpen up with the sandpaper, sharpen both ends of this. I'll do all of those. And if you remember when we built this, when we attached the stab here on this airplane, we didn't, we just tack glued it together. So we're gonna, so that we could get the horns on there and get the servos mounted. Now is a real important time to sight down this back of the fuselage and make sure it's straight, absolutely straight. And we haven't attached the top of the rudder to the top of the stab yet. That's going to allow us to get it all nice and square now. This rib we're going to have to glue all those spots. And I'm pulling the canopy here off the table just a bit. And if you play with it, hold it down nice and flat, and then scoot it forward until the canopy just touches the table, like so. You know, it's nice and square. We'll go ahead and weight it down again. And now we're going to make sure that this stabilizer is perfectly square. We're going to get down here from behind, just sight everything, make sure it's perfectly square. Everything looks really good here. Straighten the rudder up. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach this elevator permanently once I have it square. Just the full V to glue the whole length of the stab there. Now we're going to take the 6-inch guys and we're going to start here out on the stab out by where this yellow junction is, or the yellow and the white meet, and just lightly poke it in there, no more than about a 1/16 of an inch. And then you can see where it's going to poke into the fuselage here. You'll have to move it in just a bit and just poke it in there. And again, like the acupuncturist, go ahead and spin it around. Make sure that you're not forcing anything. You want that kind of floating in the middle. No glue yet. Just go ahead and poke that in and do the other side. And free it up, and before I add any glue again, I'm going to get down and make sure that everything is square and straight. Everything looks really good here. And then I'll go ahead and put just a drop where the foam and carbon meet here on the stab. Go ahead and spray it. Grab another carbon. And right where this one comes into the fuselage, we're going to poke this next one in. And bring it to the fuse cross brace here. Like so. And it's touching the carbon push rod just a little bit. It's okay that they touch, but you don't want any force on it. And if you can't seem to get it to not touch, you may have to cut this carbon. Go on the inside of the push rod, go on the outside, try inside of the push rod, outside of the push rod. If you can't get it to not touch, you may have to shorten this carbon up just a touch. But that's no big deal. I'm allowing this one to touch just slightly. Now this one looks like it'll go better on the inside of the push rod. And then touching it with less force. There we go, I got that one to clear the push rod. Looks good. Check it for squareness again from behind. Looks good, and again I'm only going to attach it here at the fuselage cross brace. We haven't glued these guys here yet. And we'll just continue this process all the way up until we're